What is good, everyone? Welcome to today's trade recap of the day. Today is Wednesday, October 15th, 2025. I'm going over today's price action. The three trades I ended up taking today, I made around $11,000 on the day, so we'll get into that right now. Let's get into this. Okay, I took three trades, two losses, and then I made it back. I took two 30-point losses, and then I made, I think, an 85-point win. So get into that. First things first, P&L ski for all my pocket watchers. Here you go. Around $450 across all of my accounts. Beautiful. Let's get into it. All right. So coming into today, we did have a very strong bullish bias. I had an extremely strong bullish bias. A lot of conviction. Now, looking at this, right? Why was I so strong bullish bias? Well, if you watched the trade recap from yesterday and you got the weekly outlook that I was saying that I think we honestly could go to all-time highs. I think this is a very strong possibility that we can go to all-time highs this week. I was saying that yesterday, and you guys are already seeing how much displacement we're currently having towards that. ES is currently ripping through all of this. And yeah, we definitely could see this by the end of the week. I think Friday could definitely do this. Now, we ended up filling this new week opening gap yesterday, right? We got our longs off of this yesterday. So I caught longs off of this. And then I was looking to see if we start displacing through key levels, which is what we did. We started displacing through this, creating order blocks, displacing, respecting bullish, disrespecting bearish, right? Clearly disrespecting bearish and clearly respecting bullish here. Meaning what? The draw on liquidity is going to be higher and continuously going to be higher until I'm proven wrong. Now, no reason for price to go lower. No reason for price to go lower. So I'm looking at this internal model right here, right? Because we do have, again, a very clear target above us, right? So coming into the morning, I set myself up a scenario, which is what? Well, let's go to 9:30 open, right? So coming into 9:30 open, right? I wanted to see this hourly intermediate low right here get hit. And I wanted to see this get swept and then get longs off of this. The reason I like this so much is because there's also an hourly OB right here that I liked a lot. And this looked like a great soup level to then trade back up to previous day high, right? So that's what I was looking for coming into the day. Now, I then told myself if this were to fail, I would then want to see the equal lows here, or relative equal lows here at this 15-minute gap get hit, because this is a great draw on liquidity because we have a lot of accumulation here. So that was the main plan coming into the day, right? And I didn't want to see 9:30 open higher, right? Same thing as the trade recap from yesterday, right? I want to see 9:30 open lower, hitting these key levels if I'm going to be bullish, right? So pretty simple scenario coming into the day. 9:30 opens and we open lower, right? Perfect open low, leaving all of this liquidity, perfectly tapping into this and getting an instantaneous V-shaped reaction off of this. Really love this trade. This was definitely A plus, an A plus loss. And this was a just great setup. I had a 30-point stop right here and had about a 1 to 2.6 RR on the target. I was really confident in this draw, so I was looking to take this for a 1 to 2.6. And you guys hear me all the time, like I'm saying, I really want 1-to-1s unless it's extremely obvious. And this to me was so extremely obvious. But this didn't end up hitting, and this did end up stopping me out. So boom, as you can see, I got stopped out right there on this long, and then I ended up re-entering. Now, on this re-entry, I just really liked the displacement, to be completely honest. I loved how we displaced really fat through all of this, right? And now this is like, because I think this setup might have failed because maybe I was thinking like, the close on this wasn't too good, but then I saw this close, I saw the displacement, and I was like, wow, this looks really solid. Something I disregarded, though, and something that I did wrong, and I'm always going to be transparent with you guys, is I think that, just to be completely honest, I didn't follow my rules. And I need to stop, honestly, entering on these resweeps, man, because I find that I do take a lot of unnecessary losses when I enter on resweeps. And I think I'm getting like, this is just a stop rate, but I need to be paying attention to more so key levels and not just resweeps that happen after a key level is hit, because it's always going to be lower probability in my opinion. So instead, what I should have done is just listen to myself, because this low should have been protected if this was going to be the true low of day. We shouldn't have gone back and touched this low, because now this low is no longer protected. What we're most likely going to go to, this 15-minute gap, right? The thing that I'd marked out before. Remember this gap, which is exactly what happened. But I still tried this anyways because, again, I like the displacement, but I wanted to not risk so much up here. This was way too much risk, so I just put a limit order right here. If I got filled, sure. And I did get filled, and I got absolutely clapped on this, and I got immediately stopped out. I was looking, I think my boy Dodgy took the same 2 losses. I think he took the same 3 trades as me, which is pretty funny. I don't trade the same as like a lot of people, like honestly, but sometimes there's days like this where the entry model keeps presenting itself and the draw on liquidity is so freaking obvious where a lot of people are just going to take these same exact entries. And yeah, that's it. And then we end up having the 3rd entry, which was even more obvious. Like, this was the final try. I told myself this is the final try because this is what I told myself in my, what's it called? The daily like outlook I was giving myself, that this is, the lowest I'd want to see price go. And that's that. We ended up having the close right here. I got in on a pretty good fill around here. I had another 30-point stop, and then I had around an 84-point TP. So I lost around 60 points on the first trades, and then I made back around 85 points on the final 2 trades, on the final trade. And yeah, stop loss here because I did not want to see price go lower than this. I did want to see this gap be a breakaway gap, and then I got filled there, went break even here. And finally, we hit my TP, taking out all of this low resistance liquidity that we had generated, and finally hitting previous day high. That's pretty much that. From there, we ended up chopping a little bit. Didn't really do much else. Looks like we're setting up for maybe a continuation long back up to these highs. Could be, but that's that. Pretty simple day. Was honestly stressful. Honestly, not very simple day, sorry, but it was definitely a more stressful day, I would say, for sure. And I know a lot of people were struggling with this. And I'll say this, right? Because this was a day where you guys will rarely see me take 3 trades in a row, especially after taking 2 losses in a row. Now, this is the 2 things that basically I give myself, right? Because, guys, you have to understand, I've been trading for around 4 years now, right? So I have a strong sense of conviction on draw on liquidity, and I also do have a really, really set psychology, just overall mental for trading, right? So I asked myself this question, which is, if I take this trade and it's a loss, will I be mad at myself? That's the main question I'm asking myself, because psychology over everything, right? Will I be mentally frustrated? Will I be okay with this loss? Is this a trade I would normally take during back testing? Is this something that I would normally do? And I was looking at this setup present itself, and I was like, yes, this is exactly what I told myself I would do. I just took this loss, and it was unnecessary. I shouldn't have taken this. But I would be more so mad if I took this unnecessary loss, then I took this play, which is what I was originally trying to go for, if this one failed. And this technically would have and should have been my second loss. And then I would have been mad at myself if I just didn't take this in general. Even if this failed, this would just still be not following my rules and what I told myself I would do coming into the day, right? So I know it's hard for a lot of people to kind of wrap their head around things like this, but this is when it comes down to conviction and screen time. And that is not something that I can personally teach you in a 10-minute YouTube video, right? This is not something I can teach you. But over, if you watch like a lot of the YouTube videos, if you watch a lot of the content, if you yourself journal, right, and build on your own conviction by watching the stock market every single day for years and years and years, and journaling every single day for years and years and years, you will say, or you will start to understand conviction, right? And again, not something I can teach you. That comes down to yourself. How much time are you willing to start putting in to screen time and build on your own conviction? So yes, this is not something that I normally do, taking 3 trades in a day. You guys see from, all my trade recaps, and you guys know from when I used to do live trading within the Discord, it was very rare for me to do something like this. But again, it comes down to conviction and whether or not I'm accepting the risk, which is extremely, extremely important. And I had a really good buffer on these accounts where I wouldn't really care if I took another, 1 hour loss. I can make that back later. Not that deep, but yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. This was a tough day for sure in terms of my entry model, but eventually it did play out, and I did end up securing about 0.5 R on this. So good day. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, like and subscribe. I've never said that before. I want to you guys. But if you guys want to start copy trading with big boy numbers, start making big boy money, use TradeSyncer code PB for that. I also am using Alpha Futures. Great prop firm, great sale right now. I use their 0 accounts with Alpha Futures. You can pass them in one day. Super fire. Same thing with Tradeify. They have great accounts. I think their growth accounts you can pass also in one day. And you get some Tradeify accounts. I need to add that to the allocation ASAP. And then Apex, also using Apex, another fire prop firm. You can get up to 20 accounts with them. And that's how you start making a shit ton of money with trading in general, is by getting a bunch of accounts and through multiple prop firms and spreading your risk across all of these prop firms. It's super important to do that. So that's why I am, promoting all of these prop firms, because I use all of them. Alpha Futures, Tradeify, and Apex, 20 accounts of them for dirt cheap. Really, really fire. So go check them out. All links in the description. Code PB. Thank you guys for watching. And if I do take a trade tomorrow, then I will upload a trade recap, and I'll see you guys then. But that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out, team. Beep.